Hello, my name is Michael Cherry, and I am a proud member of the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde community of Oregon. Growing up in Grand Ronde during the time of restoration efforts and seeing my mom serve on the first post-restoration tribal council has instilled in me a sense of pride, service, and community. I am thankful to our tribe where I have been employed for a combination of 25 years, most recently in the marketing department for Spirit Mountain Gaming Incorporated, and now as the director of the Spirit Mountain Community Fund. I'd like to thank you for your interest in learning more about our tribe, and I invite you to take a journey with Tribal Councilwoman Kathleen George as she tells you more about our story.
Today, I want to tell you two stories: the story of my tribe and the story of Spirit Mountain Community Fund. Without understanding the first, you will not be able to appreciate the second. By 1954, when the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde were terminated by the federal government, less than 1% of the original 69,100-acre reservation granted by presidential executive order in 1857 remained in tribal ownership. Over the course of almost 100 years, the more than 27 Native American tribes and bands that comprise the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde saw their land slowly whittled away by deception, neglect, and colonial efforts to divest Indian people of their property and rights by state and federal governments. After 21 years of termination, all that remained of the reservation was approximately 5 acres. But it was not always so. Members of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde Community of Oregon descend from proud people who populated the vast territory of Western Oregon, southwestern Washington, and Northern California since time immemorial, before contact with European explorers and white settlers occurred in the early 19th century. There are more than 27 original tribes and bands that make up the Grand Ronde Confederation, with the central tribes being the Kalapuya, Umpqua, Molalla, Chinook, Rogue River, Tillamook, Shasta, and Chasta. 7 treaties were signed ceding their vast lands to the federal government in the 1850s. The native peoples were then herded together and temporarily relocated to a reservation at Table Rock near present-day Medford, Oregon. But hostilities with local settlers and miners forced relocation under armed guard to the Coast and Grand Ronde reservations. Tribal members were forced marched 263 miles over 33 days in February and March of 1856 to Grand Ronde. Along the way, 8 tribal members died, and 8 children were born. Despite being relocated to the supposed safety of the Grand Ronde Reservation, the assault on the tribe's way of life continued. In 1887, the Dawes Indian Allotment Act led to the loss of major portions of the reservation to non-Indian ownership. In 1901, U.S. Inspector James McLaughlin declared almost 26,000 acres of the reservation surplus and sold it for $1.10 per acre, reducing the reservation to a mere 440 acres. Much of the land was purchased by local timber interests. But in 1954, Congress passed the Western Oregon Indian Termination Act, severing the trust relationship between the federal government and the tribe, ending all federal services 2 years later. After 29 years of termination and almost a decade of work by numerous tribal members to get the Grand Ronde tribe restored to federal recognition, members Marvin Kimsey, Jackie Whistler, Catherine Harrison, her son Frank Harrison, and her daughter Karen Askins traveled to Washington, D.C. in October 1983 to testify before the House of Representatives about restoring the Grand Ronde tribe. After the House and Senate passed the bill, it was sent to President Ronald Reagan, who, on November 22, 1983, signed it into law and made the Grand Ronde a federally recognized tribe once again. The tribe was restored, and the work of rebuilding a nation began. In 1984, the first official post-restoration tribal council was sworn into office. 4 years later, in 1988, President Reagan signed the Grand Ronde Reservation Act into law, returning almost 10,000 acres of the original reservation to the tribe. In 1994, tribal membership voted to pursue gaming as a revenue source and used land that the tribe had purchased on Highway 18 on which to build Spirit Mountain Casino, which opened in October 1995. With a firm financial base, the tribe began building its membership services and restoring its cultural heritage. And resurrecting the native tradition of potlatch, the tribe created the Spirit Mountain Community Fund. In October 1998, the Governance Center opened and Spirit Mountain Lodge welcomed its first guests. The tribe opened its first elder housing complex in 2000 and opened a new education complex in 2002. In recent years, the tribe has built foster care units to house and support tribal elders, opened housing for both low-income and market-rate rental units for tribal members, and regained sovereignty rights to hunt for ceremonial game. The tribe was instrumental in building the West Valley Veterans Memorial, a tribute to area residents, tribal and non-tribal, who have served in the military.
I have loved getting to know the leaders at Spirit Mountain Community Fund. I've been inspired by their vision for our local community.
What is amazing about the Community Fund is they get involved with the organizations that they invest in.
Spirit Mountain has been the best kind of partner we could hope for. They have supported our work financially, but they've been in the work with us.
The community fund's been here for 20 years with the generosity of the tribe, the Grand Ronde tribe, that decided to give 6% of the gross earnings from the casino to give back to the communities that it serves.
Well, the geographical makeup was obviously centralized around our casino and our community. And although our money goes to benefits and services for our membership, we wanted to make sure we took care of the 11 surrounding areas.
We choose to fund education, health, the arts, culture, the environment.
It was an incredible honor for me as a legislator to be at this table and help create and develop this fund.
The Children's Cancer Association was founded around my kitchen table 22 years ago when my oldest daughter died of cancer, and family and friends came together to dream about how we could change the world. And we have the privilege to deliver joy to children with cancer and serious illness.
We transform moments into joy for seriously ill children, their families, and we do that through the healing power of music through our My Music RX program, by providing laughter and friendship through the Chemo Pal program, connecting families with nature at our caring cabin at Pacific City, and through our Link program, which provides essential needs and resources for families who are at their most important time of need. 10 years ago, the Spirit Mountain Community Fund made a very generous investment into our My Music RX program.
The Community Fund helped us grow and expand our Chemo Pal mentor program, enhancing and developing matches in rural communities.
The health and welfare of our community has been one of our focus area for our grants, and Children's Cancer Association certainly is one of our heartfelt donations we give to, because cancer is such an important issue of our community, and especially when it affects children.
Every year, we reach out to over 20,000 children and teens and share the power of joy in their greatest moment of need. And for the last 13 years, the Community Fund has been by our side, helping us deliver the power of music and friendship and nature, improving the quality of life for thousands of families, and we thank them for their generous commitment.
Liberty House is the Child Abuse Assessment Center for Marion and Polk counties, and we provide medical exams, forensic interviews, and family support for children, and we provide support for their families when there's concerns of child abuse or neglect.
The reason we have child abuse assessment centers is not only to respond to the scale, the sheer number, the volume of abuse that's out there and plays out locally in our community, but these centers respond to the devastating effect of abuse.
When children and families come here, the team that they meet is specifically trained to talk with children, to provide an exam that's specific to child abuse and neglect, and also to provide a person who can be there to support the family.
I think the people that work there have just an amazing heart and passion and desire to make a difference in these children's lives. And what's important to them are these kids and the success of these kids.
We have amazing staff here. They really are passionate about what they do. They're highly trained and they love coming to work and they love doing their job. They work really hard.
I really admire them, and they have a tough job, and it's a tough problem to solve. And if we can be a part of that solution, it makes me very proud.
By investing in Liberty House, Spirit Mountain Community Fund made it possible for us to hire another medical provider. That means we are serving twice as many children as we were just a few years ago. I feel that they have our backs. I feel that they care as much about this community and about children and families in this community as we do.
SMART provides adult volunteers to read one-on-one with pre-K through third grade children in daycares, Head Starts, and elementary schools. And each child in our program receives 2 free books each month to take home and build their own personal libraries.
SMART stands for Start Making a Reader Today. Because of the almost 5,000 volunteers who are working with us this year and the thousands of donor partners who've made that work possible, we're able to reach almost 11,000 students this year.
Overwhelmingly, we've heard from teachers that SMART is improving students' attendance. Kids want to be in school, specifically on SMART days.
We're surveying teachers, and overwhelmingly, what we're hearing from them and what the data shows us is that yes, this program is effective. Spirit Mountain has been a wonderful partner to SMART. There are 2 things that make this organization go forward: financial support and people, and they have been both of that with us. In the almost 20 years that they have been engaged with SMART, they have supported us to the tune of $900,000. But really importantly, they have also volunteered with us, so they're actively engaged in the work that we're doing.
And I think that's one of the greatest things that you can do is actually get involved. It ain't just about giving some money and then just walking away. My grandson's in part of that SMART program, and I know kids that are in the program, so we see the need for it and we see the outcomes for it.
They have truly been a partner to me, to the staff, to the kids that we serve. It doesn't get much better than that.
What I'm still impressed with is the tribal generosity, the spirit of the people of Grand Ronde.
I love the work that the Spirit Mountain Community Fund does. It's our arm of giving. It represents our tribe well.
One thing I do want to say, thank all of those organizations that do great work. We are the ones that will give you the funds, but you do the hard work.
You submit for a grant, you get the grant, you apply it to your program, and then the light will shine for you. And the light is shining is when you can help people.